Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good tonight. We've definitely got a couple of interesting topics to discuss. It has been quite a past week for news. There are a lot of new topics that I've wanted to discuss that I haven't gotten a chance to. New topics that just actually came out today, yesterday. And a couple, two of the topics are a couple of days old, but most of them are, well, I guess it's half. I was thinking about doing 5 topics tonight, but we've got 2 that are newer, 2 that are a couple of days old. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Blizzard. I think that's the first topic that we're going to start out with. When it comes to Blizzard, Blizzard is always hit or miss. Blizzard definitely has in the past done things that a lot of people like. Obviously, they create a lot of games that people like, but they also like to screw up a lot. They like to piss a lot of people off, and, you know, I talk about Blizzard all of the time, more negatively. Unfortunately, Blizzard was a company that I used to like a lot, and I think a lot of you in chat would also say that Blizzard was a company that a lot of you used to like as well. And now they're a really disappointing company. Blizzard continuously messes up now, and we're going to be talking about Blizzard losing millions of players across all of its games. Is that much of a surprise? Not at least to me. I'm sure to some people it probably is kind of a surprise, but the thing is that their revenue is still increasing. I mean, they have come out with a lot of games. They have a lot of games with, people, how do I say this, that, come back, you know, they leave for a couple months, they come back, something like Overwatch or World of Warcraft, but Blizzard is losing millions of players across all of its games. We are going to be talking about Google Stadia. I think that laughing at Google Stadia is truly one of the best things, because Stadia is just such a freaking joke, and the joke just keeps getting better and better. Jokes with Stadia, they never stop and they never will. And Stadia's VP and head of products has now left Google. And this, of course, is a huge blow for Stadia. I mean, I'm constantly talking about Stadia, something going wrong with Stadia. And with the Stadia topic, I'm going to quickly be talking about how, despite Google being very experienced with search bars, I mean, I'm sure you all know how experienced Google is with search bars, Stadia is only now getting one after 16 months. You know, it's like the joke that keeps on giving. I truly don't think that Stadia is ever gonna die just because it's such a meme at this point. It's such a terrible, terrible joke. So we'll be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about another company that's always fucking up. Anthony Mackie is claiming that Disney and Marvel Studios are trying to change the way society looks at itself. Now, when it comes to Disney, again, just like Blizzard, is always doing something to piss people off. Disney is always trying to take things 10 steps further than they need to be taken. And now, apparently, Anthony Mackie is claiming that they are trying to change the way society looks at itself. Do I think that Disney can do that? No. Disney might be a big company, but I don't think that they could change the way that society looks at itself. But apparently Disney thinks that they can. Disney apparently thinks that they are a force to be reckoned with. And we are also going to be talking about something that actually only released today, some information. The next Superman film will reportedly be the first with a black actor as Kal-El, with Warner Brothers also committed to hiring a black director. There's so much here that genuinely is bad. How do I say this? I want to say just is awful. I definitely have a lot of thoughts on this. Let's put it at that. A lot of keywords here, okay? A lot of keywords here. Like a black actor as Kal-El, you know, Mr. Clark Kent, Superman. The fact that Warner Brothers has pissed off literally everybody with the whole Ray Fisher situation also ties into this heavily, because the very people who Warner Brothers are trying to pander to here with this movie, the very people that Warner Brothers wants to make this movie for, have already turned their backs on Warner Brothers. They are already livid with Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers has refused to apologize to Ray Fisher over the whole Justice League Joss Whedon situation. So they're gonna go ahead and take a character and completely twist him with, by the way, another part that makes this bad is the writer, Ta-Nehisi Coates, someone who also has written Captain America and Black Panther comics in the past that have all but bashed on white men. All they do in those comic books, all he did was bash on white people and bash on white men. So we've got a writer who has a very big history putting political messaging into comic books, and he did work for The Atlantic, so that's no shocker there. They're committed to hiring a black director, which I think that people should be hired based on their talents and the work they can do, not because their skin is a specific color. They are taking Kal-El and race swapping him, and I mean, it's Warner Brothers. So so far we're 0-4, guys. I think we're gonna be taking a big L on this movie. So those are the topics that we're gonna be discussing tonight. Before we get into them, hello everyone. I hope that your evening is going good. So the thing is, and I will be talking about this, is that there is one version of Kal-El that was black. There was one version of Kal-El that was black, and that was Calvin Ellis. But the thing with Calvin Ellis is that they never really promoted that comic series. It was always more of like a side comic series that they did. And the comic series is from like 10 years ago, but Calvin Ellis was the only Kal-El that was black, but he was never like the main Superman. He was never like, it was never a comic series that they ever really propped up. They just kind of made it. And they could go, like you guys are saying in chat, which we will talk about, they could go with Val Zod. I mean, I think what you could do is, I don't know, just create a new character and give that character the recognition it deserves. Make the character black. I mean, that's fine. Go ahead and make a brand new Kryptonian. Make them a person of color. It could be a female Kryptonian. It doesn't matter. And go just make a new character, because you shouldn't be taking characters and just twisting them to fit your narrative. Just go make a new Kryptonian. Go make a new whatever you want. Make them a person of color. Just, I don't know, maybe don't take existing characters and twist them to sell copies of a comic book or sell tickets to a movie because it says Superman on it. We know that's ultimately what they care about. I've got a lot to rant on with the Superman topic, because there is definitely a lot to go over. The writer, we don't know who the director is. So we know who the writer is. We know that they're aiming for a director of color. They're race swapping Kal-El. And it doesn't sound like they're going with Calvin Ellis, which we will read all of the details, but it does not sound like they're going with Calvin Ellis. It sounds like they are going with Clark Kent. But it's okay. We'll read on it in a little bit. But hello, everyone. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing good. Hello. Imagine having a great character in Cyborg and refusing to push him to the front only to do this. Pandering is disgusting and creatively bankrupt. The thing is that I thought that in the Snyder... So, obviously, I feel like I say this with all the characters, but I feel like the Snyder Cut definitely did the characters a lot more justice, but I feel like Cyborg wasn't bad. There are some people who thought that Cyborg was a bad character. I personally didn't think that Cyborg was a bad character. I didn't think that he was bad. There are a lot of people who say they really didn't like the character. If you didn't like the character, hey, that's cool. That's totally your opinion. You can dislike Cyborg if you want. I thought he was a good character. My problem is with Ray Fisher himself, and I'm not saying that he deserved to be treated badly by directors or producers or anything. I'm definitely not saying that he deserved to be treated badly.
Christopher donated $20.
Hey, thank you for the $20 donation.
And race swapping Clark was sadly inevitable.
It was. Thank you for the $20 donation, though. Thank you. The thing, though, is that just the way that Ray Fisher acted, how he demanded more creative control over his character in, the Justice League. He demanded more creative control over him in the Flash. He was demanding a lot, and he was basically saying, I should be the writer for my own character, and I know what's best for my character. And it was rumored that he did give people behind the scenes a lot of problems, and he also basically cried about literally everything that happened on the set of the Justice League, and also what he was doing with the Flash. I mean, he complained about literally everything. Again, I don't think that means he should be treated like garbage by someone like Joss Whedon, but there are a lot of reasons why I personally don't like Ray Fisher, besides the character he plays. I didn't think that Cyborg was bad. I thought he was pretty decent in the Snyder Cut. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the thing with the Snyder Cut was that there was just so many extra details that we found out that we didn't get otherwise that I thought were really well done. Changing Superman to black doesn't make me feel any better. It just feels like tokenism and just provoking people for the reaction. I agree. I mean, I have a little bit of a theory, and I kind of have a little bit of a theory that this movie won't come out. I don't actually know if this movie will come out. I think that this could potentially be something by Warner Brothers to get the attention off of the accusations that, they're hiring people like Joss Whedon who are racist, off of them, and kind of on to positive news, like, oh, you know what, we're taking our most, noticeable character, and we're going to, race swap him. Because there is a lot of negativity on Warner Brothers right now just because of the whole Ray Fisher situation. And I think that this also is coming back to bite them in the ass already, because a lot of the people who would usually be excited for a black Superman are furious that they are doing this, because they're furious that Warner Brothers will no longer work with Ray Fisher, and they still haven't apologized to Ray Fisher. So I think that this is gonna come back and bite everyone in the ass. I really do. I really think it will. We will start the topics in just a second, guys. Hi, this is my first time watching on stream. Well, welcome to the live stream. I hope that your evening's going well. I agree. They have other black heroes. Use them, and they could always make a new, Kryptonian. They could always go make a new character. I always say this, and I will, if you want to go and write a story about, if you want to write a story about a character or a person of color, go for it. Just don't take existing characters and race swap them. Don't go and race swap them. And that goes with any type of character. I don't gender swap, race swap. Just go make a new character. I'm down for anyone making new characters that they want. But when you're turning around, switching up genders and skin colors to push a narrative and to look good in the eyes of consumers, that's what I don't agree with. And that, I think, is what most of you guys also don't agree with. It proves to people why you're doing it, and it's only to hopefully get good press and to sell movie tickets. It's not because you genuinely care about making a change. It's because you want to look good. It's how it is, though. Companies don't really care. Cyborg was much better in the Snyder Cut. Whedon made him into a cliche jock and cut out most of his story. I agree. I definitely agree. I think that Cyborg was much better in the Snyder Cut. But, alright, you guys. Let's get into the first topic. This topic's gonna be fairly short because there isn't, like, a ton here to go off of, but I still wanted to quickly reference it. Because I talk about Blizzard a lot. I talk about how terribly I think they act. I personally do not like Blizzard as a company anymore. I think that a lot of people don't genuinely like Blizzard as a company anymore, and I think that there are still plenty of people obviously out there who like Blizzard, mainly because of the games that they create. Blizzard has been a big name in the industry for a very long time, ever since Activision acquired them. I personally have kind of fallen out of love with them. I still do like a lot of the, games that they have. I mean, they've created some amazing, franchises in the past. I hate to give them any credit, but I do have to give original Blizzard credit for games like Diablo, and I do think that Overwatch was good as well. Even though that wasn't original Blizzard, but you still have other games like World of Warcraft. I still do genuinely like the games, most of the games that Blizzard has created, but Blizzard is losing millions of players across all of its games. Now, we hear a lot of the time about companies and their numbers fluctuating. Like, we'll hear, of course, when a World of Warcraft expansion comes out, the numbers will spike because clearly a lot of players are returning. They haven't played in a long time. They're interested in the new content. And after an expansion's been out for a couple of months, and it's kind of that off time between a new expansion, but the past expansion's been out for a while, they're going to lose players and they're going to dip quite a lot of players. But Blizzard is actually losing a big percentage of their players across all of their titles. It says Activision Blizzard's latest financial results reveal that Blizzard lost another 2 million players across its games in just 3 months. That is a giant number in just 3 months. I mean, we haven't had any major Blizzard releases either. I could more so understand this if it was like a game came out a couple of months ago, like a really big, new, exciting game or something, and then it completely flopped, and then suddenly, boom, like, it just didn't go well, and they lost those players. That would be more understandable, at least to me, and I think a lot of people, because, again, we see numbers rise, we see numbers fall, but this isn't even the result of like a World of Warcraft expansion, because a World of Warcraft expansion, the last one, Shadowlands, came out in November. So we're talking 7 months ago, the World of Warcraft expansion came out. And now, in only the past 3 months, they've lost 2 million players. It says, as spotted by Massively OP, Blizzard's monthly active users fell from 29 million in February to 27 million in this quarter's results. The outlet notes that this is the first part of a steady trend for Blizzard, which has lost 11 million players. In the last 3 years, a 29% drop in players across all titles. That is a big number. That is not a small little chunk of change. Okay, that's a big number. And it seems like that trend is really picking up, especially if there's 2 million players lost in just 3 months. I mean, 11 million over 3 years. It sounds like a lot, but there haven't been any major Blizzard releases, okay, in the past, let's say, like 3 years. In the coming years, obviously this year we have, Diablo 2 Resurrected, and then we're going to have, like, Overwatch 2. There's some rumored other projects, but A 29% drop in players across all titles is not good, because that means that it's not, again, just one of their titles. It's not just like, oh, World of Warcraft's completely tanked in numbers, nobody cares about World of Warcraft anymore. We're talking about all of their titles. Their titles are getting stale to people. It could be monetization methods. It could be because of the choices they've made, like the Blitzchung situation. I mean, 3 years, there's been a lot of Blizzard controversy in the past 3 years. It's not just like in the past year there's been one big situation. No. We've had, Warcraft 3 Reforged, which was a flop. We had the Blitzchung situation, which went disastrous. I mean, they were boycotted at BlizzCon 2019 over that. There's been controversial World of Warcraft expansions. I mean, I guess Battle for Azeroth, the numbers were okay at first, but BFA fell off really fast with people. There was also Classic World of Warcraft, which spiked numbers up. I mean, World of Warcraft Classic brought in crazy numbers for Blizzard, and more than half of those players left in, like, I don't remember what it was, like half of a year. More than half of the players left playing it. So clearly they have had a lot of controversies, a lot of bad situations, and overall, people, again, have just kind of lost a lot of the love for Blizzard because of the decisions they've made, because of things like microtransactions that they've put into games, situations like the Blitzchung situation, PR disasters and nightmares, just games genuinely coming out and not being good. But it says, that said, Blizzard isn't exactly struggling. The developer's revenue increased 7% year over year, driven heavily by World of Warcraft Shadowlands release. Shadowlands was super anticipated. People were extremely excited for this. And it's not surprising to hear that their revenue hasn't dipped this massively as well, because they still have microtransactions in games. They still have, like, store player mounts, and they also have, like, loot boxes in games. They still have new games coming out every year, like with Call of Duties. But it says Hearthstone's latest expansion also performed strongly, with Blizzard reckoning it's on track to outperform its previous expansion for the second consecutive release. See, that is also a big situation, is something like Hearthstone. Hearthstone has been really popular still. And it also says Overwatch earned 10 million new players without releasing any new heroes or modes. It's games like Overwatch which bring them in money, because they aren't, putting money into Overwatch right now. They're putting, like, no money into Overwatch, besides, like, occasionally releasing skins. They haven't stopped with skins, but at the same time, they haven't really created that many skins for Overwatch. But because Overwatch still has a competitive scene, they've got loot boxes, they're occasionally making skins. I mean, people still like the game. People are excited for Overwatch 2, so this is a big reason why they're earning money still, is because something like Overwatch is still gaining players, and they're putting, like, no money into it. It says Blizzard fans seem to be consolidating around the studio's biggest releases then, but Eurogamer points out that it's been a while since the studio launched a big new game, and granted, this studio has dabbled in remasters and nostalgic throwbacks like classic WoW, and the MMO's expansions keep on coming, but it's been a while since we had something new and exciting like Overwatch. Other Blizzard games like D3, StarCraft 2, and Heroes of the Storm have largely been left to languish. Hopefully, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2 will fill the gap, with more remakes like Resurrected and WoW Classic BC arriving in the more immediate future. I do think that the company is right now going to be fine. I mean, we're not talking about, 30% revenue dip. We're not talking about them having no new projects coming out. They know that they can lean back on games like Overwatch with microtransactions and Call of Duties with microtransactions. But I do think that a lot of what people loved about Blizzard is gone, and we all know that. But there's still some people out there who don't fully realize that and still say, I love Blizzard from 15 years ago. But I think that Blizzard is going to come to a point where they're going to realize, oh shit, we're not making any money off these games anymore. I think eventually that will dry up. People are going to stop spending money on an Overwatch. People are going to stop, signing up for new expansions of World of Warcraft. All it takes is a good competitor to come around and these games will be annihilated. I guess more so with something like Overwatch, because World of Warcraft would need a very significant MMO competitor to do that, and right now there's really no MMOs on the market that could do that. I mean, there are a couple that maybe could be good that are coming out, but I think that World of Warcraft definitely has a very dedicated fan base, and I think Overwatch does too, but they just have to hope that they don't pull another Warcraft 3 Reforged and release a game that's buggy and glitchy and completely broken, or else they're gonna stop earning revenue, their player numbers are gonna continue to dip, and they're, you know, clearly losing player numbers. I mean, 2 million players in just 3 months, and there's been no major releases, or no major controversies ever since that number, you know, dipped. But that's all that I really had to discuss with the Blizzard topic, just them losing millions of players casually. I mean, I genuinely wish that Blizzard would get better, and I wish that they would be the company they once were. I know that that's too much to ask for. I know it's not going to happen, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean we can't all hope and wish that it would happen. I'm positive. I'm hopeful. Sometimes. But yeah, that's all that I really had to discuss with that. We are going to move on to the next topic in just a minute. We're going to be talking about Google Stadia. That's what we're going to be talking about next. Get out your laughing machines, guys, because we are about to have a good old laugh. Oh, it's going to be fun.
Christopher donated $10.
Hey, thank you for the $10 donation.
Can't wait to hear about the fine folks at Disney.
Yes. We love Disney, don't we, guys? We love when Disney thinks that they can just rule the world, change society. Don't we? Oh, Disney. Always doing something to sound absolutely ridiculous. WoW is just a grind fest of a game. I do agree that World of Warcraft now is just a grind fest of a game. The thing that I feel they did wrong with World of Warcraft, and keep in mind, guys, I'm a huge fan of MMOs. I've played tons of MMOs. I think my biggest problem with World of Warcraft is it doesn't really feel like an MMO anymore, because you can literally do anything in World of Warcraft except for like raids. You can do it all solo. I mean, they have tailored the experience completely to being a solo, and you know, you don't need a good group to just join into a casual raid. You can just find pickup groups. You can find a decent pug in World of Warcraft. Yeah, if you want to do like mythics and whatnot, I think they're called mythics. Yeah, if you want to do mythics in WoW, you don't have to, well, you do have to find people, but you don't have to find that, you know, terribly high skill of a guild. You just find a guild that has decent coordination, and you can do most of the WoW you can do all the WoW content. An MMO is supposed to be multiplayer, and they kind of, in World of Warcraft, took away the multiplayer and made it as single player of an experience as possible. I mean, that's the way that they are. That's the way that they are. Blizzard and Activision have fired so many employees in recent years, I wonder if they can even develop a new game now. I mean, I think that they can, because that's the thing with Blizzard is, let's look, I think it was like last year, they fired like 900 people. And they hired them, basically all of them back months later, like half a year later. They rehired like 700 people. Well, they didn't rehire the same people they fired. No, because why would they be a good company? No, they're a shitty company. They just hired like 500 new people or 700 new people. So when they're just, of course, they're like clockwork. They fire people, they hire people. They fire people, they hire people. We don't know really what they've got in the works right now, besides like they obviously had the D2 remaster. We've got D4 and Overwatch 2. We don't know when they're going to start working on a new WoW expansion, or if they already have. We don't really know if they're going to be doing anything with like StarCraft, which I doubt. I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see. I mean, a part of me honestly wants to say, you know, maybe the company will just fail. But another part of me still says there's games that people like, so at least upkeep the ones that you've got. Why is Stadia such a joke? Oh, If you haven't seen all of my other live streams on why Stadia is a joke, I think now's the best time to go to my channel and type in Stadia. Stadia's been a complete joke since day one. Before day one. Diablo 2 Resurrected looks like garbage. I think that the general consensus is that it actually looks very good. Personally,
big underscore
a
red
big
underscore
problem I had
bear
with it
donated $5.
was
MMOs in general aren't tailored to that
yeah,
experience
I guess
anymore.
that's true.
No MMO
Yeah.
has a lot of organic guilds.
That's true. Thank you for the $5 donation, though. Much appreciated, Bear. Thank you, thank you. The thing with Stadia is that it's just, I mean, everything that could go wrong with Stadia has gone wrong. 100%. They've just done, like, nothing good with it. Oh, Frank, coming in with the Stadia will prevail. You've been saying that since day one as well, Frank. I played WoW for over 10 years now that you're getting none of my money. Yeah, I've played WoW on and off for a couple of years now. I haven't played really World of Warcraft. I had a sub from the Shadowlands expansion that was purchased for me. And besides that, like 1 month, I haven't really played WoW, you know, like a year and a half, which a year and a half ago I probably subbed to it for like 2 months and then didn't sub before that for like another half a year. I love MMOs, but World of Warcraft was just, you know, not a game I wanted to really get that into. Stadia will rise again, just you wait. Well, Stadia would have had to risen in the first place to rise again. Right, Roto? Alright, guys. We're gonna move on to the next topic of the night. We're gonna be talking about 2 quick Stadia topics. I'm mainly going to be talking about the one that's on screen, but I do also have another one to reference quickly. Now, as you all know, I've talked about Stadia a lot here on the channel, or if you don't know, hi, welcome to the channel. I think the Stadia is hilariously pathetic. I've talked about Stadia a lot here on the channel, and it's been kind of a disaster since before it even launched. Going into it, a lot of people had a lot of hope for it, but once it launched and once it came out, we all kind of saw how terribly the project was going. There were a lot of major features missing from it on launch day. We were all expecting a lot more from Stadia because, of course, you can't have physical games on it or anything, which we'll read about more in a minute. There's just been a lot of problems with Stadia. And now, the problems are getting even worse for Google and for Stadia because Stadia's VP and head of products has left Google. This is not news, or positive news. This is not positive news at all for Google, for their team at Stadia. If I was someone who owned Stadia right now, I would be feeling pretty shitty about my purchase. I'll be honest. I did not purchase Stadia. I was going to for the laughs. I never did. Maybe one day when the controller's like $10 on sale. Maybe. But it says another executive has left Google Stadia, and this time it's John Justice, Vice President and Product Head of Stadia at Google. Along with Phil Harrison, Justice was the face of the project, frequently giving interviews and talking to the press, and he hasn't updated his LinkedIn profile yet, but following a report from the information Google to 9 to 5 Google, we can confirm John is no longer with Google, and we wish him well on his next step. So this isn't something that I was honestly expecting to hear, because I feel like everyone that's kind of at Google and working on the Stadia project right now has hope in it.
$3. Happy
Thank you for the $3.
Day, Vara.
Happy 5 mayonnaise day. Huh? Well, thank you for the $3 donation. Much appreciated. I feel like all of the people who are at Stadia still have faith in it, who think that this is going to turn around and be amazing. And maybe that's people who are genuinely passionate. Maybe those are people who have contracts that can't leave. Who knows? But Stadia's lost a lot of people. The Stadia team has undergone massive reworks already. They've lost a ton of employees. They've laid off people. They've had a lot of problems. Is the best way I can explain it. And John Justice, like it says, was the face of the project. He's the one that you'd see in ads for Google Stadia. He was the one explaining what Google Stadia was. He was the one that was like, at press releases, giving everyone information. He was the face of the project. He tried his best, it sounds like, to make this as successful as he could. And apparently he just wasn't able to do enough. But it says the latest departure is just another sign that Google's game streaming service is circling the drain. A Bloomberg report from February revealed that the service missed Google's internal sales estimates by hundreds of thousands of users. Shortly before the release of that report, Google had shut down its in-game studio, Stadia Games and Entertainment, after less than 2 years of operation, citing the high cost of operating it, and this move led to Stadia's other high-profile departure, the exit of Assassin's Creed co-creator Jade Raymond. As you can see, just it's piling upon piling of bad situations for Google for this project. And again, if you bought Stadia and you have hope and it's still good for you, I would try to be as hopeful as possible. But I think we also all need to be realistic that I don't see Stadia ever going up from here. As it says, there was a report in February saying that Google missed its sales estimates by hundreds of thousands of users. And for me personally, I was interested in it. I was hoping that it would come out and be like really innovative. People would be like, wow, this sounds really cool. And it would pick up. But a big problem was that it didn't run properly. It was missing tons of features, which we're going to talk about a feature missing in a minute. And it didn't have a lot of positive press around it. Which obviously for me, if I want to buy a game or I want to buy, a piece of tech or something, I don't just wait to see reviews on it. I buy it if I want to buy it. But for a lot of, average people, they don't want to be buying and investing in a brand new gaming platform like Google Stadia if no one has hope in it. And leading up to the launch of Stadia, there wasn't a lot of news sites covering Stadia, giving it a lot of attention. Maybe that was just because marketing purposes, maybe Google felt like they didn't really need anyone. But for some reason, there just wasn't a lot of news around it. And I think that also did severely hurt Stadia. But it says, Justice's last big media hit was a video interview with The Escapist in December. So it sounds like there's kind of a lot of signs here that he was going to be done. I mean, December, it's May now. It says this interview was from just 6 months ago, shows how quickly Stadia collapsed at Google, with him talking up in-house projects led by Raymond and saying that over time, we're going to keep doing more and more in-house games, and then 2 months later, all of those plans would be canceled. Employees were shocked by the Stadia studio closure, since just a week prior, Phil Harrison said that Stadia was making great progress, building a diverse and talented team and establishing a strong lineup of Stadia exclusive games. Well, I mean, when you explain your the progress you're making of games as being, diverse, it worries people. But that was really shocking for a lot of us because literally within the span of a week, he went from saying, oh, the games are going amazing, all the games are diverse, and the teams are amazing, and the progress is going fantastically, to, hey, we're shutting down our lineup of Stadia exclusive games. It says angry employees told the site that the move was baffling, with one ex-employee telling Kotaku, if you started this studio and hired 100 or so of these people, no one starts that just for it to go away in a year or so, right? You can't make a game in that amount of time. We had multi-year reassurance and now we don't. This really sucks for the people who worked there. because they were hoping that this was going to be a great career move. You know, they're working for Google on a new project. They were promised, you know, multi-year contracts, multi-year assurance that they were going to be able to make project after project. They have this pipeline of ideas, and none of them went anywhere because they were all let go, and Google decided to just cancel all the projects. It finishes up with saying, the post highlighted Google's platform technology that could help studios deliver games directly from publishers as opposed through the Stadia store, ? And that Google saw this as an important opportunity to work with partners seeking a gaming solution, all built on Stadia's advanced technical, I don't know why I couldn't say that, technical infrastructure and platform tools. And I want to quickly head over to this article, and I'm not really going to read this article, but I just wanted to laugh at this with you guys. This is a couple days old. Despite Google being very experienced with search bars, I'm sure you all know how experienced Google is with search bars, Stadia is only now, on April 28th, this was announced, getting one after 16 months. This is a fucking joke. You would think that they would add something as basic as a search bar, but no, they didn't. 16 months later, they finally said, you know what? We should probably add that to our platform. Our dying, not profitable platform, may I add. It says a search function for an online streaming service seems like a no-brainer, but Google Stadia has not had one for its entire life cycle, that is, until now. It only took 16 months, but today the Stadia Twitter announced that the service's web store is getting a search bar. People have been laughing at this, memeing on Google over this situation, and I agree. Look at this. Please tell me you aren't seriously promoting the addition of a search bar years later as a good thing. It is so true. Why do they think that people were gonna be like happy about this or give them hope about the platform? They said, good news, a search bar is now rolling out on the Stadia store. Get a sneak peek into the next features coming to Stadia in today's blog. We don't need to look up what a search bar is. We know what a search bar is, and you should have had a search bar 16 months ago. Someone said, my face when Google, the company literally around searching, have taken over a year to add this function to their own service. It's like they wanted Stadia to fail. It's like they didn't even try to make it good. You would think that something as basic as a search function would be implemented onto their platform months and months ago, but they didn't do that. You would just think, just for a second, like when I think of a gaming platform, I think of, you know, it has to run well. It has to support games, clearly. I mean, that's fucking pretty basic. If you have a store, it needs to have some kind of search functionality. I mean, these are like very, very basic ideas for a platform. And for a platform coming from a company like Google, it's laughable that they waited this long. Scrolling down, I mean, you can see all of the responses here. Someone said, when this dies, Google better be super prepared to give everyone Steam keys for the shit they bought, because people are not going to be happy knowing their purchased games are in the digital dumpster. That was another huge reason why I never really got into Stadia. I never invested in it. I decided I wasn't going to do it because there wasn't enough interest around it. You're paying full price for games. When Stadia launched, they wanted $60 for Mortal Kombat 11, and at that point, it was like $30. You could go to like a GameStop or online and buy it for $30, and you couldn't ever like resell your games, share your games with other people. Once they were on your account, you had them there permanently. But that's all that I really had to discuss with Stadia. Laughable situation here with the search bar, and it's pretty sad to see that just someone else who was the face of Stadia has left the project. If you're a Stadia user, F in chat for you. I'll give you a big F. I apologize. Well, maybe don't buy into Google products, but that's okay. You can't go to the past now. You already made your decision. So, we're going to move on to the next topic in just a minute. That search bar better make breakfast, lunch, and dinner if it's touted so stoutly. I mean, it better make fucking breakfast and second breakfast at that time. And tea time. I mean, with that amount of time that it took, 16 months, it better fucking serve me breakfast, second breakfast, tea time, lunch, second tea time, dinner, and midnight snack at that rate. Have no fear, the Stadia search bar is here. Yeah, after almost 2 years. It's laughable that they waited so long. You would think that would be a priority. No. Can't have that. Priorities? What are those? That's cool. Since I'm not playing any games, I don't need to search them. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, no, Google Stadia, you needed to pay a monthly subscription fee. There was a free tier. There's the free tier, but they basically wanted you to pay the $10 a month subscription fee and then also buy games at full price. Yeah. Yeah. It's the way the cookie crumbles, though. Just like everything Google touches, it turns to shit. Very true. Ex-employee talking to Kotaku? Well, I mean, Kotaku still is another gaming website that if you want to shit on companies, you go to. So it's not really that surprising. It's like Bloomberg. If you want to shit on the industry, you go right to Jason fucking Schreier. And he's at Bloomberg now. He might have actually... No, he wasn't with Kotaku anymore then. Day one add search bar, LOL. You would think that they would have added a search bar day one. They didn't though. No. Just takes 2 years almost to add a search bar. I mean, I guess when they've only got fucking 10 games on their platform, you don't need it. Put the icons on small. You'll see all the games on one freaking page. Sorry. I can't help but roast Stadia. It's such a fail fish. It's so much of a fail, it's hilarious. I mean, if you're not laughing at the Stadia situation, you got a dry sense of humor, my friend. Too funny. Genuinely, too freaking funny. Yeah, and Anthem was coming along great, too. That's true. Stadia, guys. But, alright. So let's move on to the next topic of the evening. This one is one that I think a lot of people are genuinely going to facepalm from. I think a lot of you are definitely gonna go, why? But am I surprised? No. I don't think anyone would be surprised to hear that Disney wants to make an impact. Disney wants to do more for society because Disney and Marvel apparently want to do a lot. They don't want to just be a company. They just want to help people. Let's put it that way. Help people. Wink, wink. Anthony Mackie is claiming that Disney and Marvel Studios are trying to change the way that society looks at itself. So Marvel Studios recently released their latest episode of Marvel Studios Assembled that gives a behind-the-scenes look at the recently concluded first season of The Falcon and Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier was not good. I wasn't that excited for it in the first place, but boy oh boy was it very bad. For me personally, it was a flop. Lots of woke messaging, lots of identity politics, lots of slights at race. Race was a heavy topic in the show. It wasn't really focused on entertainment anymore. It was about how many references to, race can we put into one show. It says in that episode, actor Anthony Mackie, who plays Sam Wilson on the show, recently claimed that Marvel Studios and Disney are trying to change the way that society looks at itself through the show. I don't think that anyone went into, Falcon and Winter Soldier saying, I want to be a changed person. I want to make a difference. I want to be, I want to be some great, amazing person, and I'm going to go to Disney to tell me how to do that. I genuinely don't think that anyone went to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier and were like, this is where I learned how to be a better person and better part of society. He says it's been an emotional experience, especially in the time in which we live in now. They reference, a lot to do with, Black Lives Matter and whatnot. They reference Sam's race a lot, or the fact that Sam is the actor, Anthony Mackie, and Sam as well are people of color. For Marvel to give me the opportunity as a black man from the South to become Captain America, I think says a lot. Not only about the work that I've put in to get to this point, that they would entrust me with that, but with the way that they're hoping to change the way that society looks at itself. Scrolling down, he also made a couple of other contradictory comments throughout the episode. At one point, he says, Sam, being a soldier and being a veteran, being a counselor, he realizes that as a people, we're all Americans. I'm not black Captain America. Steve wasn't white Captain America. He was solely Captain America. So as a society, as a country, we need to realize that all the people who are citizens here on this soil, no matter what their origins are, they are Americans. Which is actually, it's interesting because it's kind of, I guess, a spoiler alert. Not really. It's just a line that they said in the show. But basically, Sam is walking past someone. Walking past like a teenager, and this teenager's like, hey, are you the Black Falcon? And he goes, and what are you, black kid? Basically just referencing, I'm just Falcon. Like, they decided to throw comments into the show like that, what are you, black kid? Just because I'm Black Falcon? I mean, it was very, very blatantly clear what they were trying to do with the show in the comments that they were making in it. I mean, even at the end, when he becomes Captain America, he's just like, oh, some people might not like me as much because of my skin color, just because I don't have blue eyes and, blonde hair. He also adds, and I am my brother's keeper comes into play. Sam realizes he deserves he's earned the right of Captain America, and that has nothing to do with his race or background. Scrolling down, however, towards the end of the episode, he refers to Sam Wilson as the Black Captain America. I know that an actor's job is to act. You guys probably know that an actor's job is to act. I think it's hilarious when an actor can't even act. An actor can't even keep his story straight. Your job is literally to lie and to tell a story, and he couldn't even do that. Because towards the end of the episode, he refers to Sam Wilson as the Black Captain America. He could have just said, like, my Captain America or something like that. I don't know. He could have found a different way to say it. He stated, with everything that's been going on with COVID and the murders of Breonna and the murder of George Floyd and the riots and the activism going on with the young generation now, the Black Lives Matter movement, it's been jarring to me and surprising how timely the series is. It's almost like, they planned for it to release, now. I mean, they obviously had it on their, docket for a long time, but they could have waited to release it because it didn't really... All these shows are just happening after Endgame. It's not like this one comes first, besides, like, WandaVision had to come sometime right after Endgame. But besides that, all these other shows are just happening sometime after Avengers Endgame. But it says he added, my truth has changed and evolved so much, as far as me being a father, as far as me being a man, and as far as me being an American, and a lot that has come out of this role in this series, so it's been humbling in a real sense, but also inspiring to think that my sons will be able to turn on the TV and see a black Captain America. What was that about not differentiating between a white Captain America and a black Captain America? You totally didn't just do the literal thing that you were just talking about, right? Because he said it's not white Captain America or black Captain America, it's just Captain America, and then he goes on when he's talking about COVID and obviously the BLM movements to reference his Captain America as black Captain America, right? You're not, inspiring your sons to think that black Captain America is better than a white Captain America, right? I hope not. Because again, like he said earlier, it should just be Captain America. It's not about the skin color of the character. It's about what the character stands for. No? Just decided not to follow the very words you said. Not only did he claim that Marvel Studios and Disney are trying to change the way society looks at itself, but the director also made some interesting comments about the show and specifically about heroes. She stated, it was very important to me and I think to everybody to explore what it means to be a hero in today's world. If in the past in the MCU being a hero was very much related to being a soldier and being a warrior, the new hero is not that. The new hero is really a first responder. So it was embedded in our journey for both characters. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we'll have to see what they're doing with MCU Phase 4. Maybe this will be the case. Maybe it'll be just the first responder. I mean, I disagree because I think that it's always kind of been also about being a first responder, because sometimes the only people that could respond to a problem were the superheroes. I don't know where they're going with that. But it says, pretty sure the people who defeated Thanos in Avengers Endgame were all soldiers, so I really have no idea what this even means. And then her and Mackie weren't the only ones who had interesting things to say. The showrunner Malcolm Spellman also discussed the thought process behind Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. He stated, I'd felt like we would be dishonest to fans and dishonest too, just on a human level, if we had this black man just accept this symbol without having real ambivalence? Is that how I say it? I don't remember how to say the word. Oh my gosh, how do I say this? Am I saying it right? Why is my brain farting? Anyway, about it, and we knew that was going to be crucial to Sam's burden. And the producer would also follow that up by saying, as a black man in America, to take on the stars and stripes and wear that proudly, and that's not something that Sam Wilson would do out of the box. The thing with Sam Wilson is that this whole story could have basically been avoided if he just kept the shield. If he kept it and said, it should be someone that Cap knew. And I guess that's just gonna have to be me, since everyone else is MIA right now. We could have avoided all of this. I think that the thing here is that I understand that he thought, like, the government was gonna do well, and again, it's a swipe at the government, the whole show is. Because, of course, they turn around and say, we're making a new Captain America. But the thing with this show is that it's all just messaging, political, messages and narratives that they're trying to push. I mean, none of it is just entertainment. This show is made for a reason. It says Nate Moore must have not watched any of the Iron Man films at all, because there are plenty of black soldiers in the uniform of the USA. The most prominent one is Tony Stark's best friend. Yeah, I mean, it's not like there are no, black soldiers or black characters in the MCU. And they even point out right here, even just the Iron Man films. I mean, my problem with the Falcon and Winter Soldier was all the messaging that was in it. And the fact that it wasn't just entertainment. And if you, how do I say this? If you how do I say this? If you're watching a movie or a TV show, there's always going to be references to things. There should be a bigger picture, because usually, you know, stories are to tell, a lot of the time, a lot of stories try to tell a bigger picture, paint a bigger picture, tell different perspectives. But the thing here is that they made it so blatant and in your face, and to the point that it wasn't just enjoyment anymore. It wasn't just a show about, you know, Captain America's gone now. What's gonna happen? Is there gonna be another one? There's this group of rogue soldiers who are doing bad things. You know, we need to fight them. No. It was about a black man fighting these bad people, and all in the government also was against the black man. That's what this show turned out to be, which was extremely disappointing for a lot of people. And the ratings for this show really aren't great either. There are a lot of people who did like it, which, if you liked it, good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But wow, are the ratings for this show not amazing? But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. There isn't really anything else more to discuss. I mean, he completely contradicts himself. He admits that Disney and Marvel are trying to change the way that society looks at itself. And I think that the finished product of Falcon and Winter Soldier was really disappointing. I wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, halfway through the season, I was like, I'm ready. I'm done. I don't care about it anymore. I mean, filled with political messaging. And I don't know. Maybe the next Marvel projects will be great. But this definitely, for me, was a flop. Was a fail. Was a not good show. Political messages can be good when they're subtle. There's a lot of shows and a lot of movies with political messages that are subtle that aren't as divisive as something like Falcon and Winter Soldier was. I mean, it was very, very in your face and blatant. Not subtle at all. The agenda isn't being subtle anymore, and it's jarring for people. Yeah. I mean, I think that subtle stories that do have, you know, references in them can still be good. I just think, though, that
Christopher donated $5.
subtle.
It's cultural brainwashing, pure and
Who would
simple.
they be? Is anyone in Hollywood writing subtle anymore? I don't think so. Thank you, Christopher, for the $5 donation. Much appreciated. Thank you. I do agree. And back to wokeness, Marvel and DC. Well, this is the way that the cookie crumbles. Am I ready to talk about this? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Let me scroll up in chat really quickly. Did you watch Mulan? The Mulan remake? Is that the Mulan that you're talking about? Oh boy, that was trash. That was garbage. To you it wasn't good? Oh, I've said to me the show wasn't good. I literally said, if you think the show is good, good for you. I literally said, if you liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, good for you. Because for me, it was really, really bad. For someone else, it might not be. And if you enjoyed it, well, good. At least it's appealing to someone. I mean, I say that with everything. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean you have to like it. Or vice versa. So, the last topic of the evening is Superman. Now, I'm going to be doing a full video on this, so I'm only going to read a little bit of the article, but I've talked about the rumors circulating in the past about Superman and about how Warner Brothers was looking to go in the direction of a Black Superman and how apparently it was going to be a project that a lot of people wouldn't like. And we got that idea because of the writer that they chose. Now, they chose a writer who does have a history of putting a lot of political messaging into comic books, because he has written a couple of comic books for Marvel. He is someone who worked for The Atlantic before. Ta-Nehisi Coates. I've talked about him in another video. And he had said that basically they were looking to take Superman in a different direction, and they hired him for a reason. And that he was gonna do good by DC in this character. And now we're finding out more details about this Superman project that's been rumored for a while. Because apparently the next Superman film will be the first with a black actor as Kal-El, with Warner Brothers also committing to hiring a black director. So I'm gonna head over to this link from The Hollywood Reporter. Behind, is that good? Okay, I can move this over a tiny bit more. There we go. Behind Warner Brothers' search for a black Superman. After enlisting Ta-Nehisi Coates to write the latest feature on the superhero, the studio is searching for its director and star as it kickstarts the next phase of the DC universe. Oh boy. Get your popcorn ready. While promoting his Amazon Prime film Tom Clancy's Without Remorse in late April, Michael B. Jordan put a kryptonite pin in any rumors that he might suit up as Warner Brothers' next Superman. "I'm flattered that people have me in the conversation," he told The Hollywood Reporter. "It's definitely a compliment, but I'm just watching this one." With that, a whole new guessing game has kicked off centered on who will play the Man of Steel, and arguably more pressing, who will direct. Sources say J.J. Abrams, who is producing the film, is not among the many possibilities being considered, and when Warner Brothers announced in February that celebrated author Ta-Nehisi Coates, I don't know about that, is writing the screenplay and Abrams is producing, it did not address the matter of helming. But instead, insiders are saying that Warner's and DC are committed to hiring a black director to tackle what will be the first cinematic incarnation of Superman featuring a black actor, with one source adding that putting Abrams at the helm would be tone deaf. The last time that I checked, people were hired based on their, their past work that they've done in the past. If someone is qualified for a job, they should be allowed to apply for it, no matter what their skin color is. But not anymore, not in Hollywood, not in 2021. Because apparently your skin color now matters more than your expertise, how much work you've done in the past, what you've worked on, your skills. In a fitting twist, the director search is pitting DC against none other than Marvel. As Warner looks to fill its Superman vacancy, Marvel is on the hunt for a Blade Helmer and is combing through the same list. But the question will come down to what kind of filmmaker Bad Robot in Warner's wants, an up-and-comer who is backed by Abrams who knows his way around tentpoles and franchises, or an established filmmaker like a Barry Jenkins or a Ryan Coogler. The former list can include Creed 2's Stephen Caple Jr., Regina King, who got raped for her drama One Night in Miami, and Shaka, I think that's how you say that, King, who is popular at Warner's thanks to Best Picture Oscar nominee Judas and the Black Messiah. When it comes to the whole director situation, I think that someone should be hired based on, again, what they've done in the past, their previous work. If someone's qualified for a job, they should, be able to apply for it and be hired for it. The color of someone's skin shouldn't matter if they get a job when it comes to being someone like a director. That is just my opinion. If you have a different opinion, that is perfectly fine. You are allowed to have your own opinion. But I think that when you're hired as something like a director, your skills should be the number one reason why you get hired. Just imagine, if a company in Hollywood said, "We are only looking for white people to apply to this job." Imagine the outrage, how fucking pissed people would be. How could you be so racist, people would say. But of course, when they're looking for someone only that is black, then it's okay. In Hollywood again. It's 2021 Hollywood. While the next Superman will likely land with a named director, the star could be a relative unknown, as the case when Brandon Routh suited up for Superman Returns, and Henry Cavill donned the cape for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Neither Superman Returns nor Man of Steel lived up to outsized expectations, with the former earning $931 million worldwide and the latter taking $668 million. But establishing a new tone with the launch of the next Superman franchise is key to Warner Bros. DC film future, and as such, little will remain of the so-called Snyderverse vision, which enjoyed its last hurrah with Snyder's 4-hour Justice League bowing on HBO Max in March, and of course talks about Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, or Ezra Miller. And then it says, the Superman film appears to be moving onto its own track and won't be part of the universe as of now. As of now! That's wording for ya. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Coates is crafting a Kal-El in the vein of the original Superman comics and will have the protagonist hail from Krypton and come to Earth. While the story is currently being crafted and many details could change, one option under consideration is for the film to be a 20th century period piece. So, we do not know what they're going to do with this. So all of this is just speculation. There is only one Kal-El that is black. There's only one. And that is Calvin Ellis. And Calvin Ellis was written like 11 years ago at this point. So they might go in the direction of Calvin Ellis. But to me, it sounds like that might not be the case, because it says they are crafting a Kal-El in the vein of the original Superman comics, which to me doesn't sound like they're going with the already established Calvin Ellis. It sounds to me here that they are going to be taking a Clark Kent and race swapping him. And again, this is, speculation. We don't have any of these full details, but we know that they are going to have a black Superman. Now, for a lot of people, you're all going to say the same things that I do, because you did earlier when I said, this was a topic I was going to be discussing. They could have went with so many different options here. Instead of race swapping Clark Kent, they could go with Calvin Ellis if they really wanted to. Again, they're crafting a Kal-El in the vein of the original Superman comics, which doesn't sound like Calvin Ellis. They could go, as you all were saying earlier, with... hold on a second, guys. Why did my YouTube dashboard reset? Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm good. They could go with a Val Zod, which he was a black Superman, which again, why didn't they do that? Or what they could do is they could just make a brand new Kryptonian. If they really wanted to make a Kryptonian story with a person of color, just go and write a new story, write a new character. Because to a lot of people, and to me as well, that's very different. Because I'm fine with seeing a Kryptonian or a story about a character of color. That to me is perfectly fine. I'm all right with that. But what I am not okay with, and what a lot of other people are not okay with, is race swapping characters. It's the same with gender swapping. A lot of people hate gender swaps. I agree. I do not like gender swaps 90% of the time. Race swapping, I don't like race swaps most of the time. This is the problem, is that you're taking an already established character and you are twisting it to fit the narrative you want. And this show isn't going to be like an amazing movie that's going to have no political messaging, and we can just tell that simply by all this information. They're picking a writer for this who in the past has a history of everything he's ever written having political messaging in it. So right off the bat, we know that this is going to have political messaging. We know, it sounds like, so we don't know this, but it sounds like they are set on the idea of picking a black director for this, so a director of color. Okay, and then they're going with a character of color for the main lead. So there's just a lot here that makes it sound worrying to a lot of people, and this might come out and be amazing. This could come out and just be great. But we're talking about Warner Brothers here, a company that doesn't legitimately listen to what any of their fans want in DC, and again, a company with characters that they don't care what happens to the characters as long as they're making money. We're talking about a company right now, Warner Brothers, that has a lot of controversy around them because the very people that they're making this for are pissed at them right now. If we look at the people who they are making this for, basically, the people who would normally be like, I am all for having a black Kal-El, I'm all for having a black Superman, are furious with them because Warner Brothers has not publicly apologized to Ray Fisher over the Joss Whedon Justice League situation. And people are furious that they fired Ray Fisher just to basically forget about him. They fired him. They're going to completely forget about him and his character. They're not giving him another chance. These people are furious at them, calling Warner Brothers racist because they fired Ray Fisher. I mean, there's a lot against this project right now, and also against Warner Brothers in general. And to me, something else that was interesting that I know a lot of you are going to be like, oh, a fucking course. They announced these rumors are conveniently coming out today. All this information's conveniently coming out today, May 5th, about Superman. You all know who plays Superman currently, right? Henry Cavill. Guess whose birthday it is today? Henry Cavill's. That to me, and a lot of people are pointing this out online, that is a huge slight at Henry Cavill. They're announcing, and all this information is coming out about a Black Superman movie on Henry Cavill's birthday, when right now, we currently know of no projects that are in the works with Henry Cavill to continue being the character. Seems very, very, very suspiciously timed, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a fucking big slight at Henry Cavill, because all Warner Brothers has done is slight their actors, defend actors that they like, that have played the rules the way they wanted them to. Like, let's look at Amber Heard. Warner Brothers wished Amber Heard publicly a happy birthday on social media, like, what, 2 months ago when it was her birthday? But today, Henry Cavill's birthday, no, he doesn't get a happy birthday. Instead, all of this information comes out about a Black Superman movie. For me, the biggest problem here is the writer for this, a writer that has a history of political messaging, shoving political messages into his work, and the fact that they're going with Kal-El. So we know that they're most likely, with the wording that we're getting here, they're most likely going to be race-swapping Clark Kent. Does not sound, to me, to a lot of other people, like they are going with a Calvin Ellis, because they are going to be basing this Superman off of, the original Superman comics. But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. I am going to be doing a video on this. I have, again, a lot of thoughts on it. I've voiced kind of my general thoughts to all of you, but I will have that video up tomorrow, so I will be talking about this more in depth. But that's all that I really had to discuss tonight, you guys. We talked about Superman, we talked about Disney, we talked about Google Stadia, and we talked about Blizzard. But I'm gonna hang around for a couple minutes, so if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them into the chat now. I'd be happy to answer anything that you guys might have to ask. And I will check chat for a few. Henry Cavill, happy birthday. Not from Warner Brothers, but yeah. I promise it was intentional. These are nasty, petty people. It's true. I mean, Warner Brothers is filled with nasty, petty people. 100%. 100%. Also, you guys, for those of you who are here, because I see you guys talking about Resident Evil. Today is Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by. On Friday, so in 2 days, I will be live streaming Resident Evil Village on the channel. I'm not sure what time yet, 7 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern. I will let you all know in Discord, but on Friday, I will be starting my playthrough of Resident Evil Village. I hope to see you all here hanging out for the live stream. I'm excited to see what the game's going to be like, and I'm excited to give it a shot. But yes, Superman replaced on Henry Cavill's birthday. Are we surprised that Warner Brothers would slight one of their actors like this? I'm not. Maybe someone out there is. Cry, you're just outraging. Oh, like I said, if they want to make a brand new, you know, character and hire a person of color to play that character, you go for it. It's a new character. But don't gender swap, don't race swap, don't take a character and twist it to fit your narrative. If they want to go and make a brand new, you know, Black Kryptonian, go for it. That doesn't mean I'm going to hate it. That doesn't mean I'm going to boycott it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to give it a chance. But if they're going to take an existing character and race swap and gender swap simply to push a narrative into a movie or TV show, that's what I'm not going to get behind. And I know a lot of other people aren't going to get behind it either. Save the sheep. Oh boy. Maybe there'll be sheep in Resident Evil Village. We'll see. Resident Evil's lore is a mess. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, kind of. This change of characters' race is only to make racists mad, and it's working. What? Only to make racists mad? Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just said? Huh? Okay, sure. Only listen to the specific words you want to listen to. Not that I just said I would be perfectly fine with watching a movie with a brand new character. If they decide to make the character black, that's perfectly fine with me, as long as it's a brand new character. They have other characters they could use and make a movie on. But no. They want to use Superman's name to sell a movie. Did you play the demo? No. I did not play the Village demos. I have decided not to. Usually I don't play demos for games. I like to go in as surprised as possible. So I decided to stay away from them. Selective listening? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I didn't play the Resident Evil Village demo. I decided to wait just to play the game itself, the full game itself. Why not do a Calvin Ellis movie or Val Zod? I think that they should just go with, like, Val Zod. I mean, go for it. It's a character that a lot of people don't know about. Well, it was a version of the character that a lot of people don't know about. She's destined to play Mara. Who, me? Yeah, no. I think I'll pass. I'm not taking, you know, Amber Heard's sloppy seconds. Valheim, Vera. I might play Valheim again at some point. I'm not sure, though, when or if I will. Valheim was good, though. It was good. In all honesty, which DC character would you like to see adapted? I don't know. I honestly don't know. What DC character would I like to see adapted? I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Before we go, if you could see a DC character adapted, which do you think you'd want? The DCEU is dead, so Warner's next bright idea is Black Superman. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they could do so many great things with characters that choose actors of color. They could write new great characters. They could take characters who are people of color and make movies about them. I mean, they could even go with Val Zod. There's so many different things that they could do. But we know why they're doing this. A lot of people think that it's not even going to come out, and that this is all just for good press, because people are furious with them about the Ray Fisher situation still. Power Girl? Lobo. Ooh, I always like Lobo. I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. I haven't thought about Lobo in a hot minute. My gosh. Never hear about Lobo anymore. I've been advocating for Power Girl for months. There's a lot of good options that they could go with. But the thing is, guys, is do we really want them to make movies or TV shows out of these characters? Do we really want them to adapt these characters? I guess that would be a better question. Should they? Do we really want them to take the risk? Val Zod and Power Girl would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree with both those, yeah. Yeah. Power Girl is... I mean... She's too attractive for them to make a movie out of. They can't do that. Yeah. Literally what I was just thinking, Chris. Power Girl probably can't be made today, though. Too misogynistic. True. Oh, boy. Lobo had a spot in some of the animated films. Yeah, he was also in the games. Like, what are they called? The mobile games? Oh my gosh. Why isn't my brain working? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Why can't I think of... Oh my fucking god. Injustice. I literally just had to look it up. Injustice. I don't know why my brain wasn't working there. I was like, I know it. I know it. I played the game for years. What is it called? Good point. Like EBS always says, the clowns in charge would just ruin them anyway. Yeah, probably. It's unfortunate. Power Girl, boob window. Oof. They would shrink the Power Girl chest, maybe put a few pounds on. Probably. Sexiness and fun is outlawed. It is, unfortunately. It's a shame. Grim him. Great! Grim's already gender swapping. Great, thanks, Grim. Yeah, they would shrink the Power Girl chest and maybe put a few pounds on him. Ah, Grim. Don't give them any ideas. Please. Oh, jeez. But, alright, you guys. I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. Like I said, a new video tomorrow. On Friday, I will be starting my playthrough of Resident Evil Village. I'll let you all know what time in the Discord. It will be 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday, but I'll let you all know in Discord and on Twitter. Maybe the community tab as well. But, we talked about... Stadia and Google, we talked about Blizzard, we talked about Disney, and we also talked about the next Superman film. Maybe some of these topics I'll have updates for in the future, like about Blizzard. Maybe we'll have some more numbers in the next couple months. Stadia, maybe we'll finally get the announcement that they're shutting down Stadia forever. Who knows? But if you enjoyed the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Please make sure to follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, join our Discord. We're very active there. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live streams, because YouTube, of course, likes to not notify people of when I'm streaming. Yeah, follow me on social media, join our Discord. If you enjoy the content that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the links are in the description. I appreciate all of the support. And I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all for stopping by, and have a great night, everyone.